Hello. I'd like to take the next few minutes to show you a quick video of some gadgets that we found to help around the house. A few years ago, my mother had a stroke and left her side paralyzed. So we've been trying to help her out around the house, to try to just get her back into doing other things and doing some of the things she misses and likes. One of the things that she really liked doing was cooking and helping out around the kitchen. So with her being paralyzed on one side, it was hard to keep her in the kitchen. So we went out and we found a bunch of gadgets that actually help. So this presentation is for everybody who's kind of suffer on the kitchen. We want to show you that there is hope out there. Don't give up, for one. If you can learn anything from my mom, learn her motto, in it to win it. I mean, she's got a great attitude and she keeps going on. But she's really been trying to help with these gadgets that we've come across. My brother and I went out and bought a bunch of gadgets to make her feel helpful and needed around the kitchen and around the house. So this is what this presentation is, just some gadgets that we've come across just to help you out, to show you out there. Now, I'm not promoting I'm not going to promote a specific product overall, just products in general. So we found that you can find many different brands of these products. It's just these are what we happen to sell with for ourselves. The first is I want to show you this awesome one-handed cutting board. This cutting board is actually very thick. It has suction cups on it. And I'm going to take this towel out so you can see. Once these suction cups stick, they really stick to the table. You can mount this on your counter. It sticks in here. This board is really nice. It has a cutting surface and this small vice grip. On this vice grip, you just lift it up one hand and the pieces slide back and forth. Now, you could put pretty much anything you want in here, like say a bowl to stir stuff up. These little pegs are also movable, so the way you need it, whatever you want to put them on there. And maybe you want to cut a cucumber or some other vegetable. You could stick them in between the prongs, and it wedges pretty good. It will initially take probably a person with two hands to put it together, but it's really easy to go with after that. This vice grip thing slides in and out, makes it really easy to clean the board, and it's these little prongs come out. It's dishwasher safe. It's actually really thick. It's about maybe 2 inches high off the ground. It's got suction cups on the table, so it's really in there well. I'm going to stick these pegs back in, and I'll show you how easy it is just to go back in. Then you just push the little lever down, and it locks. Now, another added feature on this side is this little piece that comes off. This little piece has these little prongs on one side, and it's smooth on the other. So if you just wanted to use it as a cutting board, you put the prongs down. But if you wanted to, say, chop up an apple or a tomato, all you got to do is push the item onto these little prongs, and they stay in place and they cut. This is a very versatile board. One of the maybe drawbacks of this board is it was pretty expensive to get, to purchase. It's out of all the gadgets that we came across, this board itself is probably about $70. But I'm going to tell you, it's been worth it just to have my mom feeling useful in the kitchen. So we really tried out this piece and it works great. Like I said, these suction cups are great. So all it takes is one hand to cut and do things. And you'll see as I pull this out, these suction cups are on there. The next item, since my mom liked to cook and help out in the kitchen, we found several of these. These are little jar openers that you could stick on the top of the jar, and they twist the jar and they open up. It's really sticky kind of way. But it's not sticky enough to stick to your table or ruin your counter. It's just enough to help you catch on and grab onto the the jar top. You can get these in various sizes. They can help you with your medicine bottles, like real small ones to help with medicine bottles, or larger ones to help with normal size jars or larger jars. We went with a few different sizes here, but this is just one of them to show you that it's really nice to you just put it on top of the lid and twist it around. This is a no-slip jar opener. Now when you cook, obviously you like to, you may want to use spread out the dough. Well, we had those really long wooden dough rollers with the two handles. With one hand, there's no way my mom could find that or figure out how to use that. We found a whole bunch of these versions of one-handed dough rollers. They're small, they're lightweight, they're really durable. This, we bought it actually for about $5. Going back to the little jar opener, that was like $6, I believe. Most of these items we found, with the exception of the cutting board itself, are under $20. So I want to just kind of tell you that, and where we can, we searched the internet for them, but you can find these at a lot of kitchen stores, kitchen supply stores. But this little roller is great. It's solid. It helps my mom a lot. It allows her to cook and make cookies and stuff with the grandkids. So this has been great. Now another item is the bagel slicer. This is a one-handed item. I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see what it is. The bagel, if you like to take bagels, slides into this container part. Then you set the container up, the bagel's inside there, and you can see there's an enclosed blade here in this. It's all nice because it's all one-handed. You can stick that, you push that over the container, and basically, you push it in. The blade will cut the bagel in half. Sometimes it works with muffins, but the muffins usually tend to fall apart. But the bagels work great with this. So you can just push it in, cut it out, pull the blade right back out, set the blade down, and you dump it out, and your bagel comes right out. So it comes right out two halves, so it's all ready to be buttered or put cream cheese on it or whatever you use on your bagel. So this little item is a bagel slicer, or also called a bagel guillotine. This is really awesome to have one of these. The next couple items here are various forms of the same thing, and they're non-slip placemats and mat. This is basically a rubber mat. It's kind of got a sticky feel to it, but it's awesome. It's flexible and do whatever you want. So when you put stuff on it, it doesn't, like I'm going to use this little can, like this little can will slide around. It doesn't slide on, it sticks right on there. So you get these in various sizes, depending on how you like to use it. You can put your food tray, dishes on top of it. It sticks on this thing. You can see that this one is sticky on both sides, which is great, and it just doesn't leave any sticky residue or anything. This is perfect for around anything around the house. If you want to write on top of it, you put a letter or like a clipboard. My mom used a little clipboard when she writes her letters, and it puts it on top of this. It stays there. Or the dishes, when she eats, it stays in place. Also, the same thing here. This is a non-slip mat. You can get these in a long roll of these, and it does the same thing. You can see it keeps it from sliding around. And these are great for other aspects too. Maybe you want to cut these up and put them glue them under other things you may already have, such as a smaller cutting board. Now this is what we take as the cutting board, and we've got a few of these little ones that are real lightweight that my mom could wedge up against something. For instance, she can cut on them. If she cuts on them, then the handle helps her to just dump it into the pot or bowl or container, whatever she's putting that stuff in. She just cut. But when you put it on like the mat, it stays. It's pretty nice. So these are just a couple options of the same thing, basically the roll and the dish thing. The dish thing actually works pretty good. The more it's sticky, it's solid. I guess I'd recommend the rubber one over the roll, but they're both awesome. They're both kind of sticky enough to keep the stuff from sliding. So they're both non-slip grip mats. But like if you just like the cutting board, it sticks on there, you can still cut. So and then you can use the handle and lift it up and make it easy to access it out. So these are just a few of the kitchen items. A couple of things now cutting wise. Now, if you're going to cut stuff, I would recommend using smaller blades, not the real long cutting knives. It just gives you more mobility and stability, I guess, when you cut. Now, there are some things that actually hold the knife and kind of pivot for you when you cut. One of the things we love is this little blade. It's called a rocker knife, or the technical word was Mezzaluna. And I know that's a real long word. I'm going to spell that out. M as in Mike, E, Z as in zebra, Z as in zebra, just two Z's, A as in apple, L, U as in uniform, N as in November, A as in apple. So Mezzaluna was the technical word of this kind of blade, but I saw a lot of other different versions of this blade. You can get this at any kitchen store or cooking store. This is we are using a dual edge blade, and the problem with the dual edge blade, let me tell you, stuff does get stuck in there, so you're going to need like a little knife handle or a spoon handle to clean some of that stuff out. Most of the time you can get them in a single blade. We chose the double blade because we like this thing how it just fits right into the actual container it came in, so we didn't have to worry about having a different storage thing to use it. The nice thing is this is a small cutting board. There's lots of variations of this, but this little cutting board, it's actually rounded inside there, so you can see that a bit. And you put the knife on, and you're just hand rocking it, and it works awesome. This is a great way to get out there and be able to safely cut stuff. You know, with your hand on top, you're not accessing the blade like a straight knife would, especially with one hand and it's jumping all over the place. This is nice. This is with one hand you can just rock the knife. It cuts a lot of little things, a lot of vegetables, a lot of herbs and spices and stuff. So it's nice. It stays in for the most part in that little rounded area. And then when you're done, you clean it up, push the blade back in, and put it away. So there's lots of different variations of this. We went with a lightweight one that's plastic. That's what we wanted. Now this is the ideal thing for every kitchen. I'm going to tell you, I can't speak highly enough of this. This is called a locking can opener. You'll notice that this has this little mechanism right here to lock up. When I squish the handles together, it locks up and it stays in. I want to show you this because I'm going to do this one-handed. This has been perfect. I'm going to cut this can open. I'm going to stick. I got the one with the magnetic lid on it, so it picks up the lid when it cuts out. There's versions of this locking can opener. I'm just going to. Okay, I'm going to lock it. I know this little can's different because it's a small can and there's nothing in it. I'm just cutting it open just for the sake of cutting it open. But I'm going to normally cans will balance themselves, but this one won't. So I'm just going to balance the can with my hand on the bottom and turn the handle. And as you turn the handle, okay, wait a minute, let me get it back in there better. It does work. I've been doing it. Okay, let me take that off. Maybe this will stay better. So I'm just going to balance the handle, but you'll see that with one hand, you can just twist the handle, and the can itself turns. This can's a little wobbly, but it will cut the top. You can see it started cutting it right there. So this is awesome because you need a can with the weight that's actually filled. This one's empty, and it just locks, and it's got a locking mechanism on it. So I would highly recommend a locking mechanism can opener for you. This thing was about $15, I believe, is what we paid for it. It was worth it. So, like I said, most of these gadgets I just showed you, actually, were $5 to maybe $15. So I'd say most stuff, pretty much everything, minus the single-handed cutting board, was under $20. That was that was $70. That particular brand that we bought. There's a lot of versions of those single-handed cutting boards, and a lot of these items that look like they might be dangerous. Like if you use them, they might break on you or slip all over the place. So I would just recommend paying a little extra for something and get what you want, but get what you wanted to use. Another item, I'm just going to kind of take you out of the kitchen a little bit, and so some general use items around the house or whatever, is your travel mug. My mom has a cane, and she likes to carry stuff with it, so it always scares us. So we bought a oversized coffee mug with a bigger handle. So actually, the handle can, like her cane, slides right into the handle, so she could put a drink in here. Usually she does get her morning coffee. She puts her coffee in, puts the top on this cup. It just pushes. This one just pushes in, and it's got these rotating thing on top here, so it's a travel cup. So basically, whatever's in there, it locks in there. You lock it in, and you carry it around. But she'll put the cane of her handle, the handle of her cane through the handle of the coffee mug, and then it just kind of helps her carry it around. We bought several of these for. I've got it covered up. I'm not promoting one brand over the other. These are so generic, you can get them anywhere. These are awesome. But they, we just, you can make it so easy. It just carries around. And if you don't like drinking out of this, then don't. Put your regular coffee cup next to it. So use like a lighter version of this container, or this, to just pour it into your coffee mug, just like that. So. Yes, I knew it was in there. I just didn't realize the top was open, so all the way like that. But so yeah, travel coffee mugs are great. Now also on that side, going with other things in the kitchen and the refrigerator, you might want to get some of these smaller these mugs with bigger handles for other items in your house, like milk, juice, stuff that you might normally keep in the refrigerator, where you don't need, where you can't lift up a gallon size of it. But you can pour it into a smaller container. So we'll get my mom a gallon of milk, for instance. Then we'll put it leave the gallon out, but we'll pour some of the milk in one of these kind of cups. So it makes it easier for her. We got a bunch of that are open up that you can see what's inside. Like clear cups or whatever, you can see what's inside, so that she could have an easier coffee mug to lift when pour the milk into her like whatever she wants, cereal or whatever. So and same with like the cereal. Your normal items that come in like big boxes, put them in smaller containers. You can get a bunch of containers with lids on them that just make it real easy. For instance, for us, what we do is we like to basically pre-pack a bunch of like cereal and containers into they fill up a little pre-fill a couple bowls with cereal in it for my mom. We can put the lid on it, and it can sit on the counter or in the cupboard. So that way she can use it when she wants. She can just pull it out, open it up. Without having to fumble around with the big box and it spills all over the place. So I definitely encourage a lot of containers with lids and stuff on it to help you separate things. It's inconvenience. Trust me, I get it, but it's worth it. To have like a little bowl that's lighter, and it's already kind of about the size that she would want. So all she's got to do is pop the top, grab one of these cups, pour the milk, then have her cereal. Now some of the other items, we're going to kind of move around the house here a little bit. In the shower, in the bathroom, you might want to consider getting some suction cup handles. Now, there's a warning about these suction cups. They do tend to fall off once in a while. So these are great for a short-term purpose, but if you have like a long-term disability, you might want to actually get the ones that screw into the wall, mount in, and we put a whole bunch of them in so she can grab them, they don't come out. But this is also great, like if you travel. You can throw this in a little travel bag and use this in your hotel or something, so it's really nice. They just stick onto the wall. These little latches basically stick these suction cups on the bottom here right to the wall. Then you got yourself a handle. And it just sticks in the bathroom. Or wherever else you may need a handle at. You may need this in the kitchen to help you get up from the chair. These are really great to have. But after a while, they do tend to slip off the wall. So you might, like I said, with those, you want to be cautious with them. If you're long-term disability and stuff, get the ones that just mount. Now this little beauty is an arm. It's got suction cups on the back side here, as you can see in this arm. This is what's called a dryer hoster, a hair dryer hoster. One of the things my mom loved to do is do her own hair. And when she does her own hair, she can't hold it, with only having one hand, she can't hold the hair dryer. So the hair dryer, we got this thing, it actually just suctions to the wall, and you just stick the cord through that little notch, like that. It just sticks right in, and the hair dryer fits right in there. So basically, this fits right under the wall. It stays on there. It stays really well. We tend to put it closer to the sink anyway, closer down, instead of way up high where it's actually, you might slide down the wall a bit, but if you stick it down and let the weight in there. This has been really awesome for her to be able to have the freedom to cut her hair, the dry her hair the way she wants to too. So I highly recommend this. This little arm costs us $5. There's a lot of variations of it. Some of them you can get a stand that stays on the desk, and then the dryer fits into the stand on the desk. We found the one that works on the wall the best because it just mounts there, it stays there. The only thing is when you're done with the dryer, you want to take it out of the holster. You don't want to leave it in there. It does tend to flip off the wall faster. So I would just say, you're done with the dryer, take the dryer out of that thing. But when you need it, just put it right back in. And it just, like I said, real quick, the cord goes right through that little groove. Then the thing just drops right into the holster. So it's really awesome. Highly recommend a little gadget like that. Now another gadget that we've come across, and it's been a lifesaver here, has been this lap desk with the beanbag on it. On one side there's a desk. It's a flat side that sits on your lap. But the nice thing is there's this beanbag. And the way, depending on how you use it or whatever, the beans all kind of shift one side or the other. Let me just put this can up in here for a second. I'll show you. When you put the beans on, if you're sitting that on your leg, it'll give up a little bit where these beans will move over and fill in the other area. And where this allows you to sit level on your desk, on your lap, which is nice. It's really lightweight. This one's portable. It's got a handle on it, and the beans make it soft and easy for her to use that on her legs. This has been awesome. I tell you, this thing costs us under $20. My mom can eat, put her dishes on and eat on it. This one has a little groove like for ink pens or the silverware. She can eat on it. She can write her letters. She can play her games. So this thing has been a lifesaver. It's a lap desk with a beanbag on the bottom of it. Now there's many versions of it. You can get the ones with legs and stuff. Actually, for us with the beanbags, I'm going to say with her left side being paralyzed, it's been nice. She can put the beans kind of shift over by her side, and they're kind of no grip on this too. I mean, they don't no slip grip here, so they're pretty good at staying in place on her. So it's really nice. It's a lap desk with a beanbag, but there's many versions of that. Another issue you might want to look at is how to put your shoes on. With the shoehorn, there's a lot of opportunity to help with the back part of your shoe. We got a somewhat of a smaller one here, but we do have a really long shoehorn that she can kind of sit in the chair and put in. She doesn't like that too much. She can't put the shoes on herself, so we help with the shoes anyway. But there's you might want to get an option with the shoehorn. Another weird thing we found out and we had to think about was buckles. Now I'm just using this industrial band just for the sake of the illustration here, but these buckles buckle on the side. You can push it one-handed and like that, and they pop open. So these are nice for lots of things. I'm not saying for dress. They make a horrible belt. Of course, people like to remain stylish and stuff, but this is nice because you can use it for, like, you find these kind of buckles on, like, say, backpacks, little bags, various straps like this. So this is, you might want to I'd encourage you to get some of these items that would help you buckle some stuff up. Now, on the smaller end of it, we have several dog collars. And these straps are awesome. This is pretty thick. We're using a dog collar strap with that same kind of a buckle for various things here. But one of the things we have found, this has helped out incredibly with other people, not just my mom, not my mom here, but the attachments that goes on the wheelchair. Like, my mom has a wheelchair and a cane, and then those legs that flip back and forth, stuff on the pedals for the feet and all that on the wheelchair. You can clip them together with a small cable, and they stay in place. Instead of like using a bungee cord or something on it, which if you pull the bungee cord, it's going to snap on you. We have the travel wheelchair, so it folds up, and we can put one of these cables on there, and it keeps it folded up from popping open. So when you go to pull it out of the trunk of the car, it stays closed up. Then you just undo the snap and it opens up. But also we put them on there for her cane. We just snapped a couple of them on. Her cane fits right in between it. So when we're pushing her around the wheelchair, we could stick the cane or a tote bag or different things that hooks onto the wheelchair that makes it easier for us to, instead of having to carry say a bottle of water and a sandwich and a cane and push her in the wheelchair. We just use a bunch of these little dog collars to actually hook them onto the wheelchair. It makes it easy for us to carry. This particular one, the reason we got this one here is to help her out at night more so. Because this little dog collar we found has a light. And I think that's just really kind of cool that there's a light on it. We picked these up at the dollar store, so they were just $1. But this is nice to get her in at night when we go out and do places. You don't want to carry, you may not need a flashlight on, to carry with the wheelchair. But when we come in at night, we have a little light that we can see. She can see the stairs better and stuff at night. Also, these dog collar straps we have found have worked great. We have a friend who is on an oxygen tank, and she has the walker with the wheels. We've used several of these straps to actually mount the oxygen tanks to her walker, and they balance on there really well. They're not making it. We made sure it doesn't just flip over or not, because she needs to carry 2 oxygen tanks when she goes out. So these little straps are perfect. They're perfect for her, for one, because they basically one hand she can unhook them and they just pop right out like that. But they've been really solid and durable to hold the oxygen tank. So highly recommend like little dog collar straps, especially with that kind of a buckle. That buckle comes in handy for a lot of other things, but especially for the around the extra stuff around the house with the wheelchair and different things. So it's easier for my mom to attach and use. This one was just an industrial buckle that we had. I just used a bigger buckle just to show you for purpose of illustration here. Now, if you like to write letters and different things or open your mail, I would recommend a letter opener. Now, we use it with that non-slip grip pad, and my mom puts a little clipboard on it, and that way the clipboard stays in place, and she can use the letter opener to open up her mail. 2 things that are a necessity around the house now that we find are these. This is the thing to grab stuff. It's a little arm. You can find it out. You push a little lever and that thing picks up things on the end. But we found out that sometimes there's stuff that just doesn't pick up in that. So what I would recommend is a dustpan with a long handle. This way my mom can sit in her chair, put that dustpan down, and use this if she needs it, and scoop something right into the dustpan. Especially like the mail, or envelopes, paper, whatever she drops all over the floor, ink pens and stuff, where it would maybe a little harder for the claw thing to pick up. The dustpan picks right up. So a little dustpan with an arm and the claw thing. Real easy to get and real easy to use. Now, if you like to work out, I would recommend getting a travel set of resistance bands. The resistance bands are perfect they come